Love is supposed to speak. It speaks in phone calls, in laughter, in shared stories, and in the quiet comfort of presence. But when you are over 50 and the love you poured into your adult child turns silent, it feels like a death. The silence is not just empty, it is heavy. It is filled with the echoes of what used to be and the terrifying question of what went wrong. You feel erased from the life you helped create. But before you let the silence consume you, stop. Today, we look through the lens of Viktor Frankl to find a perspective that does more than just explain the silence. It heals the wound it left behind. Turning 50 is often a threshold of reflection. You look back at the decades of raising your children, the sleepless nights, the driving lessons, the graduations, and you expect the reward to be a rich, enduring connection. Instead, you are met with a wall of silence. Your adult child has pulled away, stopped calling, or reduced your relationship to polite, infrequent texts. This silence is a unique form of torture. It is an ambiguous loss. They are alive, but they are gone. You grieve them every day, but there is no funeral, no closure, and no community support. You carry this grief in secret, wondering if you are unlovable, if you failed, or if you simply don't matter anymore. The silence robs you of your past. Did it mean anything? And your future? Will I be alone? However, Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who found meaning in the midst of the Holocaust, teaches us that while we cannot control what life does to us, we have absolute freedom in how we respond. He argues that despair is suffering without meaning. The silence hurts because it feels meaningless. But if we can find a perspective that gives this silence meaning, we can begin to heal. This video will guide you through 5 profound insights that transform the silence from a prison into a sanctuary, helping you to find peace, dignity, and a healing love that survives even when the words stop. The shift from object of silence to subject of life. The first healing perspective is to realize how the silence defines you. Currently, you likely feel like the object of their silence. They are doing this to me. I am being ignored. I am being punished. This position is powerless. You are the victim waiting for the perpetrator to stop. Frankl invites us to shift to being the subject of our own life. He teaches that life is not something we question. Why is this happening to me? But something that questions us. The silence is a question life is asking you. Now that the noise of parenting has stopped, who are you? This perspective heals because it gives you agency. You are not just a parent waiting for a child to speak. You are a human being with a soul, a mind, and a future. The silence is not a cage. It is a clearing. It is space. For decades, your life was filled with their needs. Now, life has cleared the room. Instead of staring at the empty chair, Frankl urges you to fill the room with your own essence. What have you neglected in yourself? What art, what nature, what friendship, what spirituality has been waiting for this silence to be heard? When you begin to view the silence as a time for your own expansion rather than your contraction, the healing begins. You stop being the victim of their absence and become the architect of your presence. The reality of unconscious individuation. We often interpret silence as malice. They hate me. But Frankl encourages us to look deeper into the human drive for meaning. Often, an adult child's silence is a clumsy, unconscious attempt at individuation, the process of becoming a separate self. In midlife, their 30s or 40s, many adults realize they are still psychologically entangled with their parents. They hear your voice in their head when they make decisions. They feel your anxiety when they fail. To find their own voice, they feel they must mute yours. They don't know how to be connected and separate, so they choose separation. This perspective heals because it depersonalizes the pain. It's not that you are unlovable, it's that they are developmentally stuck. They are using silence as a crude tool to build a boundary they don't have the words for. Seeing their silence as a developmental struggle rather than a personal attack allows you to move from anger to compassion. You realize they are trying to grow up, and this is the only way they know how right now. This doesn't make the silence pleasant, but it makes it bearable. It removes the poison of shame. You aren't a bad parent. You are the parent of a child who is struggling to stand on their own 2 feet emotionally. The tragic optimism of letting go healing requires us to face reality. The reality is they are silent. We can fight this reality with denial or rage, or we can accept it with tragic optimism. This is Frankl's concept of remaining optimistic in spite of the tragic triad of pain, guilt, and death. Tragic optimism heals because it stops the war against what is. You accept, my child is silent right now. This is tragic. It hurts, but it is not the end of my life. You practice the art of letting go. Letting go is not giving up. It is not saying, I don't love you. It is saying, I love you enough to stop fighting you. It is releasing the tight grip of control. When you let go, you release the energy of desperation. Paradoxically, this often creates the safety required for the child to return. But even if they don't, the healing comes from the release. You put down the heavy burden of trying to fix the relationship single-handedly. You trust life. You trust time. You trust that the love you planted is deep enough to survive a winter. This surrender brings a profound peace. If you wish to support this work, the thanks button is there for you. Thank you for being here. The attitudinal value of silent love. We think love needs to be loud. We think it needs a transaction. I give, you receive, you thank me. When the transaction stops, we think the love has died. Frankl teaches us about attitudinal values, finding meaning by the attitude we take toward unavoidable suffering. He challenges us to upgrade our love. Can you love without transaction? This perspective heals because it transforms your love from a need into a gift. You can continue to love your silent child. You can hold them in the light. You can wish them well. You can speak kindly of them. You can keep their place at the table set in your heart. This silent love is powerful. It is resilient. It does not depend on their behavior. It depends on your character. When you realize that your capacity to love is indestructible, you feel strong again. You are not a beggar asking for crumbs, you are a source of light. This attitude protects your heart from turning bitter. Bitterness is the infection that kills the soul. Silent love is the antibiotic. It keeps you soft, open, and dignified. It ensures that if the silence ever breaks, you are ready to meet them with grace, not grievances. The responsibility to the unlived life. Finally, the silence hurts because it feels like a waste of time. I am missing their life. I am missing my grandchildren. This focus on what is missing blinds us to what remains. Frankl emphasizes our responsibility to answer life's questions in the moment. The question now is, what will you do with the time you have left? This perspective heals by redirecting your focus to your unlived life. There is a version of you that has nothing to do with being a parent. There are talents, joys, and experiences that are yours alone. The silence is a permission slip to pursue them. It is time to write the book, take the trip, plant the garden, join the choir. It is time to build a legacy that is broader than your biology. When you engage fully with your own life, the silence of your child becomes a background noise, not the main soundtrack. You become vibrant, you become alive. And a parent who is fully alive is a parent who is healed. You show your child and yourself that your happiness is sovereign. You are not waiting to live, you are living. The silence of an adult child after 50 is a deep wound, but it does not have to be a fatal one. Viktor Frankl shows us that by shifting from object to subject, understanding the developmental struggle, practicing tragic optimism, choosing silent love, and embracing our unlived life, we can heal. We can find a peace that passes understanding. We can stand in the silence and hear not rejection, but a call to a deeper, more independent, more resilient self. The love hasn't died, it has just changed form. And in that new form, you can find a wholeness you never knew was possible. Now I turn this over to you. How are you healing from the silence? What new perspectives have helped you find peace? Please share your wisdom in the comments below. Your story is a balm for others who are hurting. If this video brought you comfort, please like it and share it with a friend, and subscribe to our channel to join a community of parents finding light in the darkness together. You are loved.